Man, I have not done one of these in a long time. Hello and welcome to First Issues Now, the sporadic at best review show where I, AJ, the comic archivist, takes a closer look at a first issue that came out recently. For a full top 10 best first issues this week, check out my article over at WhatCulture.com, link is in the description, or donate to my Patreon so I don't have to make top 10 lists just for a living. The power is yours. Today I am going to be looking at Snap Flash Hustle number 1, created by writer Pat Shand and artist Emily Pearson. I absolutely love this comic, and it is truly only the first issue. The basic plot is that an alternative model who is down on her luck accidentally stumbles on a ring of models who just so happen to also be a drug cartel. At the end of her rope, she joins them, having no other choice. Now, before I get into the overly analytical stuff later on in this video, the art is awesome, the writing is superb, and it all comes together to create a comic that you should not only buy a physical copy of, with both covers, but it should also be added to your pull list right now. Really, it is that awesome. For everything past this point here, it will be spoiler-ridden and a deep dive into this title, so read it first, then come back. Or not, that is also your choice. Maybe the over-analytical behavior will actually get you to want to read this even more. Let's find out. So, the main character, Haley Mori, may be a failing softcore cam girl, swimming in debt and only really riding low on the amount of likes she's getting, but never really getting that attention to truly make something of it. She is basically the template for most independent creators. If you can't tell by the fact that I've had dozens of shows stretched over a few different channels over the last 5 years, trying not to even be a top name, but just break even at least once, then you may understand why that big part of the character really touches base with me, and would for many other creators. Low likes and an even lower Patreon count has her pushing a boulder uphill for years, exponentially making it worse by doing photo shoots for people who can't even pay. We then look at her personal life where she has an open relationship, or at least has a shared partner between her and her husband. I've seen several reviews that make it seem like she's forced into this sort of relationship, like she's a doormat who just has to say fine dear, screw who you want. But unless I skimmed over something, which I could very well have, it seems her main exasperation is not that Pauline is in her life and her wedding bed, but she's just another thing in Haley's life to add more stress. Her husband isn't truly a terrible person either, able to talk to his wife about her feelings and everything. In my look, it looks like a fleshed out relationship that has hit the rut stage without being explosive. Potentially a lived-in bisexual relationship. Again, all that falls apart if I missed a bit where he's truly a dickbag, or she showcases any true God I hate this in regards to their relationship, rather than Pauline wanting to break into modeling or the lack of finding a job. All of that lived-in backstory, the debt, the life, and everything like that, leads to the climax of this piece, which, after a misunderstanding with a photographer who thinks she's part of the model mafia, and Haley being dangled off of a roof, all of that leads to her finally joining. But it doesn't lead to a standard, join us or we'll kill you. Haley is the one that puts her foot over the line to say, and I'll go with the quote for this, I'm fucking trash at every other job I've done besides modeling, and I still can't get enough money to buy a coffee from what I do. She's the one who offers herself to the Pixel Vixen Breaking Bag drug market because she knows she needs the money. She knows she needs it. This actually acts as a perfect beginning in a tale about where the line is drawn. Haley is an alt model, not a full cam girl, so she does have a line where she knows she's good at what she's doing, but she does have a standard that she's not going to be spit roasted on Pornhub to try and make cash. There's a baseline of what she's willing to do, that she's shown to be comfortable in front of a camera, but has never slipped into the porn industry. But in today's society, I'm sure everyone has thought about that question before. Am I the sort of person who would sell drugs or have sex in front of hundreds of thousands of people? Which really just adds to the elevation of this piece. Then we come over to the art. The art for this is not a crisp digital clean, but rather thick lines and an almost chalky color palette allows for a unique blend of the social networking pages and panels that really are prolific in this, alongside the reality of the world. It is a style that actually adds a bit of unpolished mundanity to Haley's worldview to almost tell this story without ever needing to look at the script at all. I'd actually love to see the unlettered pages for this just to prove that theory, but I'm oddly needy in these videos. It also helps that Pearson doesn't shy away from PG-13 nudity, but she doesn't make Haley look perfect. There's two basic ways most nudity is done in comics, as either a way to denote how beautiful the character is, basically to add some sex appeal and just make that angelic, oh my gosh, she's so hot, bleed through. Or you have the awkward nudity, where it is definitively not supposed to be sexual and is meant to show, oh, maybe the character, her body's not perfect, but she's showing it because she wants to have sex with this dude. But either way, it's either sexualized or not. This is an oddly refreshing combination. Haley is drawn to be attractive, but when it comes to seeing her naked, she's never drawn to be fully fat material in a conventional sense. When we see her popping her bare booty towards a camera, the curves, or lack thereof, do not make her butt look like the conventional thick that has permeated for what a booty should be. Similarly, her boobs aren't perfect, at least in the way that artists would typically draw them, to be titillating. She's given a realistic body, and it may or may not be an interesting artistic way of saying that that's why she isn't a top performer in her field, but she is comfortable with who she is. This also really comes up when we look at the models who are tops in their field and making bank peddling coke to be drawn as more standardized beauty, especially when bound to a ceiling. All of that overanalysis on this wonderful first issue is just a long-winded way of saying that this book is freaking awesome and a testament on how a first issue can set up the story, explain who the characters are, and put the hooks in for a second issue without being dull. On a technical level, it expresses the interwoven nature between the writer, the artist, and how one is not separate from the other. So go and get it now. When you do check this out, let me know if you agree or disagree with me, or just leave your opinion in the comments below. While you're down there, if there's any comic you'd like me to do a review on, let me know. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and please consider supporting our Patreon. Yes, even my integrity is available if you have deep enough pockets. But more than anything else, stay golden, inklings.